Hey guys, Barry here, and welcome back to your gaming station, Nintendo Back to Gaming. And here we have one of the guys from Vivid Helix. We have Radu Mursan, if that's correct. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, what time is it in Canada now?
It's 11 before noon.
Ah, okay. I guess it's not too bad. Sorry if I
Oh,
woke you up.
oh no, I've been up for a while. I'm a parent, so I tend to wake up really early.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I guess tell us a bit about yourself, tell me about Vivid Helix. Did you found Vivid Helix, or are you just part of the team kind of thing?
So I am Vivid Helix in the
Okay.
sense that this is a one-person studio.
Yeah.
Um, I on the last game I worked on, I did work with somebody else for the music, but other than that, it was mostly me working on the game. So I'm a solo developer. So that's Vivid Helix, which the name comes from the names of my kids, David and Felix.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so just before we talked, I guess there's no harm in mentioning this, that we're both Romanian, without even knowing.
yeah. It is it is pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I live in Canada right now, but yeah, I was born and raised in Romania for the first 25 years of my life
Yeah,
and moved here a while back. I'm giving away my age, but it was what, 12, 13 years ago. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you're
So
21, yeah.
yeah, always 21.
Yeah. Now, can I ask, is there many developers in Romania? It doesn't seem to be pretty popular, I don't think, for
Th
games and stuff.
There are a few. So I haven't been back much, but I know a couple of people I've met at different conferences and events. I think there's a couple of games that probably one of the biggest ones that I know of is Move or Die, which is made by a Romanian
Yeah, that
guy
game I heard of
and
it,
a team.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really popular.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a few, but yeah, the scene is pretty small. But industry-wise, there's Ubisoft and a few other bigger companies there in
Oh,
some of
yeah,
the
yeah.
cities. So th there is some things going on, more than what I have where I live right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, so tell us about Semispheres. I have my Switch on and just reading eShop information. Semispheres is a meditative parallel puzzle game that places dual is it realities at the heart of its challenge. Its unique single player split screen mechanic challenges your brain by putting you in control of two characters at the same time. Now, like I did, show off the first, is it 5 levels if I'm correct?
yeah,
Of chapter one, basically, world one, and the wee comic script as well. The comic sketch. Yeah, so like to be honest, I haven't played much more because I wanted to kind of do a podcast and then kind of play on myself. For the surprise, I guess, of what's kind of happening next. So yeah, tell us a bit. Like what idea did you get for this game? What made you do like a split screen kind of thing?
so th this thing started a part of a game jam. So for those who don't know, a game jam is typically a global event where people get together and make games in a short amount of like a short period of time, and usually around the theme. Ludum Dare or Ludum Dare is one of the bigger ones. It's probably the biggest or the second biggest one. It happens worldwide and about 3 times a year, and there's thousands of people making games for 2 days. So you get 2 days, they announce a theme, and then 2 days later, and then everybody plays each other's games. And I did this in August 2014. The theme was Connected Worlds. That was the name. So you just have to just think of something you can make around that theme. And I had played this amazing game called Brothers: Tale of Two Sons
Yeah.
before, and it has a similar control scheme where you control two brothers with the two thumbsticks on a controller. You can use the keyboard, but it's not that one doesn't work great for a keyboard because some of the puzzles are a bit they're a bit weird. But you're controlling two brothers, and one of the things that bugged me during the game was that when they swapped sides on the screen, and you ended up the brother that was on the right side of the screen was controlled by the left thumbstick, and the other way around. it was really, really confusing. So it's one of the things where your brain just stops working and you're trying to get them together and they go even further apart.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was kind of trying to fix that problem by thinking about just constraining the two characters in my game to their own world. So left characters on the left side of the screen, right characters on the right side of the screen. If you haven't played the game, I'm gonna stop there. I'm just gonna say but I don't want to spoil it for you. But yeah, that's the main inspiration. It's just I was Brothers, the game, and then the idea of connected worlds, and I put them together and came up with the initial version of the game, which interestingly didn't have Portal. So if you play the first 5 levels, I think in the third level the Portal shows up,
Yeah, yeah.
which shows you how the two worlds are connected, and that wasn't there in the first version. That added that later just to explain how the two sides are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, what can happen, like when you're in the uh I guess, selecting your level, like before you actually start playing the game. If you switch sides, the colors, the left side is orange if I'm correct, isn't it?
so on the Switch, the Switch is the only version where I switch the colors. So
Okay.
when I developed the game, so the left side was orange for my previous releases, and then the Switch, because of the neon Joy-Cons, which the blue ones on the left, I switch colors in my game. So the blue Joy-Con, if you have the neon color switch, the blue Joy-Con will control the blue character, and the red Joy-Con will control the orange
Oh,
character, which
that's
is
clever.
close enough to red.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a special edition just for the Switch.
Yeah, yeah. But like if you switch the colors around, like if you put the color at the opposite side of the screen, your brain will just mess up. Like, why is not moving over there? You know,
Yeah,
because
you'll get used to it as you play with the game, but it definitely it pushes your your thinking a bit. Yeah.
yeah. Now this game, it features more than 50 levels, each building on top of each other. Cole is accumulating with fiendishly complex puzzles. And how do you come up with 50 levels? Can I ask? Like, does it take time,
Um,
or does it just come naturally
yeah.
for yourself? Like,
So it does take time, and so coming up with levels is not necessarily the hard part, just making sure that they work well, you cannot game them, and they fit with the rest of the game. I think that's the hardest part, and then just tweaking them to be good, because there's all these things. Maybe you have an idea for a puzzle, but maybe that level is easier to solve. The whole game is built around trying to teach you how to play the game without having a tutorial. Like you notice there's a prompt with one of the Joy-Cons coming up when you need to press a certain button, but there's no text in the game. And I like everything in the game, I teach you by just showing you, and then you experiment and you figure out how things work. And I wanted to keep that, but I also need to make sure that whoever plays the game finishes the level in kind of in the way they learn something, right? So take the first level with the portal. If you don't finish that the right way, if there's a way to game it in any way or to just cheat at that level and get through, then you're not going to know what to do on the next level. So that's all part of the puzzle designs. Like how do they play together? What order should I do the puzzles in? Because I didn't design all the puzzles in the order they're in right now.
yeah,
So I came out with some of them initially. Then there's new mechanics in the game, things you can do in the game. Those came later, and it was all over the place. And then at the end, I just put them all together and saw what was the right progression to go from one puzzle to the other. So when you're playing the game, it makes sense and it's building up in complexity while still not feeling frustrating. So
yeah, yeah. Now, the music as well. It's the immersive ambient soundtrack by Sid Barnhorn, is it? Bonhorn,
yeah, yeah.
composer of Anti-Chamber, the Stanley Parable, and Out There. So, can you tell us about the music itself? Because you did say like you can make music yourself. You're a composer, I guess.
No, I'm not.
You're
So
not.
no, he is like so. Sid commented on my devlog. So a devlog is a place where I used to write about the like just developing the game, like a development blog.
Yeah.
And He commented there, and then I reached out to him, and he agreed to work on my game. And yeah, I was really happy because I think his music fits really, really well with what I was going for. I'm trying to, my goal for the music was so the music is really good and enjoyable if you think about it, but it doesn't necessarily draw attention to it. So my goal was for the music just to help you to get immersed in the game and just focus on the game. Because as you're going to play more, you're going to see that it's going to require quite a lot of your brain power. And I just
Yeah,
want you to be completely focused. I don't want the music to make the sound that makes you think like, oh, that was interesting, or oh, I never heard that sound before, or anything like that. It
yeah,
needs to
yeah,
be just at the threshold of being noticeable. So good, like great music is I have like I have friends who've been listening to his soundtracks like even before I worked with him. It's just like really good ambient chill music, but it doesn't. So it needs to not draw attention to itself. That was one of my main goals.
yeah, yeah. No, but like I do like the music. It's from what I've heard so far, the noises and stuff. It's nice.
Yeah, it's really good. So Sid's been besides those games, he's worked on a lot of things. I think he scored 70 or so movies. So
Oh wow.
he's really really experienced. I was really fortunate because this is really my first bigger game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was really happy that yeah, he wanted to work with.
The game released on PS4 and Steam as a PC, Steam as well, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, on the 14th of February. Like, did you have plans to release it on Switch beforehand? Like, did you get your dev kit this year or was it last year? Can you talk more about that from, what, like, negotiations had you with Nintendo?
So I
Like,
don't
what
remember
can you
exactly
say?
when, but yeah, I definitely got my dev kit after already released on the PS4. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even remember exactly when, but it was definitely after. So when I released in February, I didn't know if I was definitely going to be able to be on the Switch. So I already had I knew people from Nintendo, but I wasn't sure that. I mean, this is just me. I'm the kind of person that I'll believe it when I see it. So
Yeah, yeah.
even if you get like a verbal confirmation, I was like until I see the dev kit in my hand and the game is approved, I so as if like I ago when I was approved, I didn't really. I don't want to say I didn't believe I was going to be on the Switch, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always like, yeah, reluctant to just say like, hey, I'm going to be on the Switch because, yeah,
Now, can I ask,
that's
did you know what
yeah.
the Switch was before it was officially revealed?
No.
Okay.
Well, so I knew it existed, but I did not know
Yeah,
how it looked and everything. And there were I think there were only a handful of developers that had
yeah, yeah.
access early on. Yeah.
Well, I know a couple of developers early on was Zoink Games and Image and Form, if I'm correct. They're both from
Yeah.
Sweden,
So,
Gothenburg in Sweden. But
yeah,
like,
that's the SteamWorld Dig guys, right?
yeah, yeah. And Zoink is Sicker to the Man. They're releasing Faye and Flippin' Death.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But what is it? Klaus from Zoink Games, he had the dev kit. Him and someone else knew about this. Like, he was telling me on the podcast and went to this kind of special meeting that no one else knew, only those two, that they're going to, Nintendo in Sweden and saw the dev kit and had this dev kit in their office and stuff. So,
Yeah.
which is pretty amazing. Now, can I ask,
Yeah, I was.
what's it
Oh, go
like
ahead.
making a game on Switch compared to PS4? Is it easier? Like, what was your experience when you first had it? Did it take long to get, used to the system?
Not necessarily. I think the Switch may be one of the easiest ones to work for. But it's the problem is that they're not comparable. So there's like any systems that I worked on, and uh, they're they're all in they all work in different ways. So some things are going to be easier on one, and some things are going to be easier on another one.
Yeah,
So because this was my third platform that I was working on, a lot of things were already in place. So when I started working on the PS4. The first version was only PC, so save games, achievements, all these things were working for the PC, and then I needed to make it work for the PS4, so needed to change how the game worked a bit, and then localization, all of these things by the time I got to the Switch version. So a lot of things were easier just because I had done two versions of the game, two different platforms of the game before. But it was, I have to say, in terms of actually developing for it, it was definitely easy. For my game in particular, the fact that there's no achievements made
Yeah,
it
yeah.
slightly easier too, because you don't have to code for those. So
Yeah. Like I do own a PS4 Pro myself and the original PS4 as well. And I'm just here looking on the store page, on the PSN store page, and it's weird looking at the thing now because if the main level like on the left hand side, like you said, is orange, but
yeah,
the like you've blue circles there and vice versa.
yeah.
So like, had you any plans for even for Vita down the line or?
Uh, I all I'm gonna say is I cannot really answer that right now.
That's fine. I'm not
So
gonna.
yeah,
Sorry if I'm
but
putting pressure
yeah,
on
yeah,
you.
no, it's fine. But soon, yeah. I'm not sure when the podcast will go live. But yeah,
That's fine. It's okay. Sorry if I spoiled the end
no,
of
no,
the.
it's fine. Yeah,
No, it's just an interesting concept. Like it might seem. I guess the idea is like a simple concept, but it's much more complex, as you know. By playing this game, it's a lot tougher than you might think. Like you
yeah,
said, for your brain, because your brain will probably not be able to handle it at first.
yeah, it gets trickier. So the game does have a fairly smooth progression curve from because I did play test it with a bunch of people, even end to end.
Yeah,
So it does teach you everything you know, but it does get a bit more complicated later. But by then you'll know how to deal with everything. So
yeah, yeah. I see as well. It's coming to Xbox One.
yes, so that's yeah. So that one, I guess, like yeah. So it's kind of working. I mean, it is working. It's just being a solo developer, it's really hard to do everything at once.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of work, but it's I'm fairly close with that one. So
yeah. Now, can I ask, is Nintendo popular in Romania?
growing up, it was not. So when I grew up, because I'm a bit older, so I'm in my late 30s,
Yeah.
and when I grew up, my machine was a ZX80 clone. So we had like three different clones that I knew of just in Romania. So they could run games from a cassette tape. And
Wow.
then I had an Atari 2600, so 2600 Junior or something that my dad brought back from Canada. But we only had 10 games on it, including ET. And I remember
Oh God, that
because I
game.
I could not understand that game, and I just thought I was a bad player.
It was literally full
So
of holes.
yes, and later on when I found out that was supposedly a lot of people didn't like the game, I felt vindicated. I felt really happy. It's like I'm not a bad player. Just yeah, the game yeah,
The game
wasn't
wasn't
just
great,
too
but it's
big.
probably the
Yeah,
rarest game in the world right now.
yeah,
Because what was it? There was was it like hundreds of games found, buried?
yeah, yeah, in the landfill somewhere.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, I think like Nintendo was not popular. Consoles in general were not popular, and um, growing up, there's a lot of piracy because of purchasing power and because games were really expensive. I remember even when I think I was in high school or university, and typically you wouldn't find physical games at all in any store.
Yeah.
And like let's say 10, 20 years ago, it was kind of hard to download games. And I remember seeing Diablo 2. So this, I think it was in university. I saw Diablo 2 in a store. It was physical edition. That was something like three times the minimum wage for a month. So like the
Wow.
minimum wage for 3 months. It was insane. I was like, so basically if you made minimum wage, you could buy four games a year and that's it. No food, no nothing else. So no wonder like piracy was a thing. So now now it's a lot better because Steam does, for example, does like different pricing in different areas, and also the purchasing power went up a lot
Yeah.
since. So yeah.
Now, did you ever visit Bucharest for like Ubisoft? Because they worked on Watch Dogs, if I'm correct, for the Wii U.
I didn't. So I haven't been much through because I'm from a different city in the
Yeah.
middle of the country, close to the Dracula's castle and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been much in Bucharest. So
Maybe we should
no.
do that. Me and you should make a game on
Yeah.
Dracula.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's really interesting though because there's some common mis like everybody thinks he's from Transylvania and
No, that's completely
he's
wrong.
not.
He's
Yeah,
Romanian, yeah.
but yeah, and I saw a post on Reddit the other day about supposedly his castle, which was not his castle. But I guess yeah. So there's yeah. Bram Stoker took a lot of liberties in creating the Dracula character. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what writers do, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Now, can I ask, did you invest in a Wii U dev kit?
no, I never. So I did join the program. Um, so there were a couple of different programs, and there was like a private program that they had, which was really harder to get in, and then there was a public one, which is what they have today. That like you just go in and subscribe on the website, you get access to everything. So I got in one of them, and then they canceled that one. So I never. By the time I was ready platforms. The Wii U was not the cool platform anymore. But my goal initially, because I didn't know how the NX, I think what it was called,
Yeah.
the NX for the longest time, I didn't know how that was going to look or when it's going to be available. And my plan was definitely to consider the Wii U.
Yeah.
But then I found out about the Switch, and that seemed like a better fit. So,
Yeah. Now, what game systems do you own yourself now?
so I'm ashamed to admit I don't have a Switch. So I did pre-order one, and then I canceled it because I was afraid of. So being a parent and a game developer, my time is extremely limited. So
Yeah.
I my thought was that if I get into a big game like that, I'm not going to finish my own game at all. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh, that's the reason I still play games only on the PC mostly, and I try to stay away from big games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've historically I've been a PC gamer, but I've been using controllers, so it's not like I'm a necessarily a keyboard and mouse player.
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the games I play with a controller anyway. So yeah, it's just easier with a laptop for me to take it around and yeah.
Now, did you watch the direct yesterday?
No, I couldn't because I was preparing for today's launch and
Oh,
yeah, I
I
was
guess,
so
yeah,
busy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the last few days have been a bit busy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, like, I'm sure you heard the news about what was coming out, what games for
So
Switch.
I saw a list, but then I just skimmed over it. So I saw the list of games that weren't in Direct that are coming out that
Yeah,
was
what's that
posted
about?
on our Nintendo. Yeah.
I,
So
I don't get why they do that though. It's like they tell these games, tell us these games that are coming out, but don't put them in the direct at all.
yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
don't know how they picked those games. So
yeah, like the Nindy Direct was it in January? They showed off. Uh, I think before the Switch launch, it was in January where they showed off loads of games from Zoink, Image of Form, and loads of other developers. Like it was great because it just showed off like what we could see that was coming on this year. But then it was like the only one, I guess, the only big one that they had for Nindies, which is disappointing, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, I mean they can only pick so many games, right? And
Yeah, which is understandable,
yeah.
but you have to give everyone like if they want this, I don't understand. Like if they want, okay, like if they want people, to make games for their console, give people the chance to do it. Like don't be
Yeah.
complaining that they can't get people to actually come to their system, which I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, they are a bit. I think they're a bit restrictive in the beginning, but I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think a large part of that is just like making sure that everything works right. Because in the early days of any platform, any console, or any platform in general, there's a lot of like kinks to iron out, just like small problems. And the more games you have to deal with, the more problems you have to balance the number of games and developers you take in with how many people you have helping out, right? So, um, yeah, I think it's I mean I'm biased because I was able to release a game on it,
Yeah,
but um, yeah, it's I think they're doing a good job. I see that a lot of good games are coming, like even so they're already out or they're coming soon, the
yeah,
indie
yeah.
games. Yeah.
Now, can I ask
So,
what price is your game on Switch?
it's around $10. I don't remember in all the other regions. I don't remember what pricing. I just put in the pricing that was suggested there. So $10, €10, £10, something like that. So maybe a bit lower in euro. I don't remember
Yeah,
actually.
it's ten
So
dollars. See the thing is, I don't want to sound bad, but like because you give me the game, early on, I don't know the
yeah,
price because it says purchased.
yeah, yeah.
So I haven't a clue. But
Yeah, it's so I just took pick the 10 US dollars as the base price because that's kind of what I relate to, and then I try to make everything correspond to that. So
yeah, no, like $10 like for a game on I guess on Switch isn't that bad. Like on any platform isn't that bad at all.
no, I don't think so. So
No.
yeah, it all depends on what kind of games you play ultimately,
Oh
right?
yeah, I
So
guess. No, like I don't want to sound bad, but there's a game that's coming out, and yeah, because I got early hands on. Was it last night? I think,
yeah,
and it's $30. But I don't want to sound bad, because I like developers like yourself put all this hard work into it. But like I guess from a consumer standpoint, why like is it too high? For people to get. Does that make sense? You know?
yeah, I don't like it. For a game is so hard. Like with many things, there's no right answer.
Yeah.
It's really difficult because as a developer, you have to think like what is your goal? Do you want more people to experience your game? Do you want to make as much money as possible?
Yeah.
What is your goal, right? And ultimately, you have to find a compromise because you want to hit that sweet spot of as many people play a game as possible.
Oh yeah.
So they're not driven away by the price, but if you put it too low, then you're losing money. So and not losing money, but potentially not making enough to recoup the cost of making the game. So
Mm-hmm.
it's it's not an exact science, and unfortunately, the mobile app stores like the App Store and the Google Play are pushing prices down, and Steam with sales as well. And I think you can feel that across the industry that especially if, like a lot of the games are feeling the price pressure, and there've been a lot of even AAA games that haven't done that well because people just didn't buy it. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like in Canada, the dollar was a bit lower because of economy, oil, and things like that. And there's AAA games that cost $80 right now here, which is it's just a lot. I mean,
Yeah, it's
to
a lot of
think about
money.
that, it's just yeah. Uh, so
Yeah, like what is it? It's coming out? Like I know in Canada the exchange rate is, I guess from maybe from euro to Canadian dollar. Like it's ridiculous. Like $80 for a new game.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
about maybe
especially right
50,
now
60
where
euro here.
yeah. Uh, Yeah, it's so right now it actually went up a bit recently, but yeah, so it's 55 euros, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
Like
that's a lot.
it's not too bad. It's not the worst.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ultimately, I, I still think like in general for what you get, like most games are not that expensive if you compare it with other things like a movie, a book, or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's just yeah, because there's so many of them right now, it's so hard to pick. And yeah, if you get like a 50 euro game, you may not play it for 50 euros worth of your time, right? Just because
Oh yeah, yeah.
you have so many other games you want to play. So
Mhm.
I personally like for me, I actually prefer shorter games if possible because I'd rather experience more games and my time is more limited than having something that takes 100 hours of my time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But like compare that like your theory there to something like maybe Uncharted on PS4.
Yeah.
Great game, but like it's the story is long as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like there,
You
like
get right in. Just the
like
whole development. Yeah.
yeah, like no disrespect to you or I guess Nintendo or any other developer or publisher, but maybe Naughty Dog are the most respected game company out there at the moment. Overall, I
Yes.
think
Yeah. 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 It is
like
one of the, yeah.
the game The Last of Us, like that game just like the greatest story hands
Yeah.
down for me in a video game, better than
Yeah.
Saving a Princess, but
Yeah.
like it
Yeah. No, yeah. There's so many great studios and really good games out there, and it's good. There's something for everybody. I really enjoyed The Last of Us.
oh yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, it's not my most played game. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Now, did you watch E3 this year?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
At E3, I'm like another regular gamer in the sense that I just like I said, my time's very limited,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I try to stay away. Like every time I get into a AAA game, so I think I played like Resident Evil was the biggest, like the bigger game, the Resident Evil 7 that I played kind of recently when it came out,
yeah,
and then most of all of the Souls games. And I know every time I get into one of those, it's like 50 hours, and it's yeah, it's a lot of time for me.
yeah. It is a lot of
Yeah,
time. I see
yeah.
they're releasing for RE7. They're releasing the like a collector's like a special edition with all the DLC. Is it
Oh,
November or December or something for PS4?
okay.
But
Yeah.
I'm hoping like will that game come to Switch? You think? You think Capcom will release it?
I have no idea. Yeah. I,
It's hard to tell. I don't know.
Yeah, but it looks like the Switch is doing really well. So I think
Yeah,
um
it's beaten
it,
Xbox
it
One
looks
sales this
yeah,
year so
and
far.
yeah, and Bethesda has announced like what Doom and Wolfenstein and yeah.
That's insane.
So it's yeah, I think it'll do fine. So I'm not yeah, I think it's past the hump of the Wii U, right? So the Wii U was a bit different and not as successful, but I think like the Switch is going to do just fine.
Yeah, like if I'm
Uh,
correct, I think Switch has sold maybe the third of Wii U sales in total so far. That's
yeah,
insane in the
think
first
like
6 months.
14, 15 million overall life
Yeah,
cycle, and the Switch is already at like what 4 or 5 million, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
That's crazy. Like Nintendo's doing something right there.
yeah,
But it
no, the
seems to
the
be
form factor of the device is just amazing. Like it's really nice just to
yeah,
be
yeah.
able to have something that can play like really good games and just hold it in your hands or put it on the TV is just yeah, I think I'm gonna get one. So I told myself I'm gonna get one after I release the game on the Switch, kind of as a gift to myself. So,
Well, you deserve it.
yeah, yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
buy his game and help this guy get a Switch for himself so he can play his own game on the Switch.
Switch. Well, I can play it on the dev kit. So
Yeah, but still, like
yeah,
on a I guess like a proper Switch. And we see what the thing is as well. What you have, we haven't got. Most, I guess, maybe 90% of people, 95%. You have the cool black Joy Cons, which we haven't got.
yeah. So mine are gray. I'm not sure if they're black or
Or
yeah.
yeah, like
So
dark gray, whatever it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But like we've to get like I have the standard gray Joy Cons. See, the thing is, I was going through my like in my head, do I get the grey Joy Cons or the blue and red? But I went for grey because if I went the blue and red, I feel personally I'd have to buy the same colors but the opposite. If
Okay.
that makes sense. So that means I'd have two sets of Joy Cons,
Yeah,
which I didn't want because it's only going to be me playing it myself.
yeah,
And like if I have the Pro controller as well, and like me, that was in my friend's house. Was it last weekend? Like we played Mario Kart, three of us. So like we had two Joy Cons and a Pro controller. Perfect. Instead of
yeah,
buying four Joy Cons and a Pro controller, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. I wanted to get a Joy-Con. So I pre-ordered the Joy-Con, the neon version, and then I canceled it. And it's exactly because it kind of fit the colors of my game. So that's why I wanted to get the neon blue and red.
Yeah.
I
Now,
was
what price is the Switch over in Canada? Can I ask?
don't even know. So right now, it was like 500 something US Canadian dollars. So
What?
normally in this, so that's just because the Canadian dollar is it's quite a bit lower right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So um, I looked at it last week, and the neon one was actually more expensive. So let me see. So it's 400 Canadian dollars for the gray edition, the gray Joy-Con, and
Buy it. Who cares about the
yeah,
colors? Just buy it.
yeah. I'm still torn. So I'm not sure what to do with the Joy-Cons. I may need to get another set. So I would actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I would potentially get if I could get like a reverse color, like a red and blue, then blue and red.
You see,
So
you can buy
yeah,
them separate if you get me.
yeah, but the opposite color. Oh yeah, I see them. Yeah,
Yeah, you can buy
you
them
can
the
buy the
opposite
other one.
color. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have well, my problem really is that I have two kids, and I kind of want to get just a gray one, so then I have four gray Joy-Cons, and there's no discussions about I want the blue one, I
Yeah, you
want
want
the
to.
red
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah. Just
yeah,
don't let the kids play at all. You play it. No one
yeah.
else.
No, that I would actually that's one of the reasons I want to get it because I think it's so good for the kids.
Yeah.
Um, Zelda's not co-op because I if it was possible for the kids to play together because they do play it games at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just I know they're going to be fighting on it, so I'll still have to figure out how to sort that out.
Yeah. Now,
So,
have you any interest in Super Mario Odyssey?
I so I haven't played many of the Mario games. I if or like when I get a Switch, I'll definitely get it, and yeah, Splatoon as well. Just all the two. Yeah, just yeah. I feel like anything Nintendo makes, like the games are so good that yeah, for me, so other than just playing them, for me as a game designer,
Yeah.
there's so many things to learn from them that yeah, yeah, I guess I can justify it as a business expense.
Yeah. Have you got a 3DS as well?
No, the only like I said, I'm mostly a PC gamer just because of how limited time I have, and I didn't want to
Yeah.
invest in a device that I don't buy games for. So I did buy a PS3 a long time ago, and
Yeah.
I haven't really used it much. It's used for Netflix right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's a yeah,
Yeah. Like I use my Wii U as my Netflix box.
yeah. I
Uh,
did the same with the PS3.
yeah.
I got like Minecraft on it for the kids, but they ended up playing on the tablets because it feels yeah.
Yeah.
For them that feels more natural.
Oh yeah. I
Uh,
guess because they can take it around as well. What is it? Pocket edition, if I'm correct.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it works like it feels like it kind of works better than with a controller in many ways.
You
So
think?
so for them they're used with a touch screen, right? Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they got started on tablets that were their first game devices,
Mm-hmm.
and they can use controllers, but in general for like a first person thing in controllers, I'm personally not sold. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Just don't show the Minecraft on Switch because they'll just go
yeah,
crazy for it.
yeah,
But like Minecraft
yeah.
and Switch is the best version, hands down. I think of
Oh
that
yeah, because
game.
I guess you get the best of both worlds. Like
Yeah.
you have like touch and like Joy-Cons. So yeah,
Like it's great. Like as well, they announced last night, which just totally blew me by surprise. Minecraft new 3DS edition.
yeah, I saw that announcement. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because
Well, I mean, Micron's on everything right now. So
like to me that's insane. No, because I want to play it. I do. Like I really do want to play it because like you have the two screens. You have your craft menu all below and on the bottom screen, and everything is on the top
yeah,
screen, which is actually very
yeah,
handy. I think. So basically, like it's like the Wii U version but portable, but less. Uh, like there's less things to do in it. I guess collectibles and stuff.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting. Yeah,
Now, actually, what skins have you got for Minecraft? Like, have you bought any? Or
I
master
haven't.
packs?
I have. My kids have played more Minecraft than I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just I didn't get into it when it launched.
yeah, same
And
as yeah,
then Yeah, but by the time it got pretty big, then it just felt like I didn't have the time to get into it. And like I said, I'm very much afraid of big games, so that's why I prefer smaller games, and that's why I play a lot of indie games, just because they tend to be smaller, and I can get through a game and not leave it unfinished. So I have a I have a thing where I like to finish whatever games I start.
Yeah.
So
Now, what would you call the greatest game of all time and why, in your opinion?
I don't know if
Please
that's
don't
really
say
hard.
ET.
No, no. So I tell you the game I've played the most personally, and that's FTL, Faster Than Light. So I have the most amount of hours I put into any game into that game, and I really enjoyed it. But I uninstalled it just because it was taking up too much of my time.
Yeah.
But I've played that more than anything else combined. So that's top of my list, and then I did play everything that was Souls, like Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, and those are probably my second closest pick. Well, I mean, I have my favorite, but yeah, it's like there's in general, any of those games are probably some of my favorites.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of that was just from a game designer perspective as well. Just because just like with Nintendo games, there's so many good things, especially in Dark Souls, for example. There's just yeah.
Okay, what would be the closest Nintendo game that would resemble Dark Souls, if that's even possible?
I'm not sure, but there was a rumor that they so when they announced the Switch, From Software was on the list of approved vendors. So I'm not sure what games they were considering, but
Did I hear
I would
Dark
totally
Souls 1
buy it.
and 2 or something?
Yeah, I would totally buy it. Like if Dark to the Switch, I would totally buy it instantly, even though I played that game a lot. Just
Yeah.
yeah, just being able to play it on the go, it's really appealing.
Now, what's your take on Resident Evil Revelations coming to Switch?
I haven't followed that, so I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about it.
Right, okay.
So yeah, sorry.
You're grand. Now, I'm looking at the languages on Semispheres right on the eShop, and I must say, I'm disappointed now in one of them that isn't there. You know, I'm sure you know which one it is. Like, why is no Romanian in the game?
So with a I think that's like a historical reason. I'm not even sure if it's uh supported on the Switch. So most consoles will have a set of languages that they support,
Yeah,
and um I'm not sure like I think for the PS4 that wasn't even an option. With all the different, so there's the like translating the game and translating the store page, and they're like two different things. And for me, with translation, I couldn't use it. Like Steam didn't support it. I think like PlayStation didn't support it, and then like as of now, I'm not even sure if the Switch does support it or not as a language in the game. But the game has the only language in the game is what you see in the menus. Like
yeah,
other
yeah,
than that, the game is fully textless, and uh, yeah, and I didn't want to do the translation myself, just because interesting. I've always used everything in English on any computer I've owned, and just translating to Romanian just sounds weird to me. So I don't know how to. Yeah,
yeah,
the game I mentioned, Move that's made by a Romanian guy. His Romanian translation is very very funny, which wouldn't work for my game at all,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it did work for him. So instead of saying online, which like let's say what's the Romanian word for online, he translated that what in Romania you'd say online because that's how they say it, and he literally translated that into Romanian. So it'd
Yeah.
be like on the line.
On the
So
line.
that
Oh,
yeah
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
That's ridiculous.
and that did work for him. So but like for me it didn't. And yeah.
Okay, thanks very much for coming on. Much appreciated.
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was it's really enjoyable. Yeah, it's always fun to talk about games. So,
Yeah. Now, where can we find you on social media anyway before we go?
the only one I really use is Twitter. So I'm Vivid Helix on Twitter. That's my both my personal and my company account that I use. interchangeably. And other than that, I don't really do much else. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, thank you so much for coming on the show. Much appreciated. You can, of course, check out Vivid Helix and all their lovely content on Switch there. Semispheres, it's €10, $10. Do support this game, because if you get this guy at least 50, whatever, 60 sales, you can get him a Switch for himself. So it's very important. Okay, guys, you can, of course, check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Vine, Twitch. And for more Nintendo and Nindies, keep it right here. Thanks for watching. And as always, guys, stay fresh.